At Kennedy Space Center caused this morning's delay. You can probably tell the winds are still with us. In fact, they're picking up, and the temperatures are beginning to fall. This is not typical Florida weather, and this is not good news for NASA. What started off as really a beautiful day, all in all, when you consider it, today has been a day that's been filled with plenty of disappointment. And the temperatures are only expected to be in the 20s tomorrow morning. The coldest they have ever launched a shuttle before tomorrow will be 40 degrees, so this will be the first time that NASA has attempted at launching a shuttle in sub-freezing temperatures. They're still hopeful, but they were hopeful again today. They said they'll just wait and see how the temperatures fall tonight and hope that there'll be some sort of warm-up by tomorrow morning. Reporting live from the Kennedy Space Center, I'm Liz Gonzalez.
Includes a trip into space for school teacher Krista McAuliffe. Monday's attempt was scrubbed by trouble with a door handle. Steve Delaney is at Cape Canaveral this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Bob. It is cold here. It is Long John weather at the Cape. NASA has had launches in sub-freezing weather before, but never from the shuttle program. And there is some concern about the effect of these cold temperatures. Primarily, they're looking at a buildup of ice on the outside of the external fuel tank, which is loaded with hydrogen and oxygen at very low temperatures.
Well, if a shuttle could shiver, the Challenger would, warmed only by the blusters of NASA left over from yesterday's comedy of the hatch cover. Tom Montier is live in Atlanta. Tom, it's try harder again this morning?
It's try hard and fight the elements. Right now, the 7 members of the Challenger crew are on their way to the pad. In the center of your picture, you can see the Astro van. There is no ice on the highways down there, but it is just 24 degrees at the launch pad, and that has definitely caused them some problems this morning. They predicted as early as Sunday it was going to be very cold today. If they were unable to lift off yesterday, they knew they had weather problems today. NASA says there is no exact amount of temperature that they have to scrub under. You see some of the ice down in the area underneath the launch pad. That's giving them fits right now because they have some water suppression bags down in the bottom, and that's basically how they'll test to see whether they're able to go ahead or not. They'll go down and kick these bags, and if they slush around, it's not frozen, so they will be able to continue. The computer problem that caused them to move the fueling back by 1 hour was because of the cold temperatures in the area. Here you see the crew just a few moments ago coming out of their crew quarters area for the second time in as many days. But NASA is fairly optimistic this morning. The weather is not a factor except for the temperatures. They have pretty much clear skies in the area as they are now headed out to the launch pad. CNN meteorologist Nick Gregory is here now to take a look at the exact weather at the Kennedy Space Center. Nick?
And Tom, we're going to look at the latest satellite picture to help us out to do this because we can see that skies are completely clear, and the video coming from the Space Center also confirming that to us. Winds are light, so winds will not be a problem, although again they're a bit on the strong side when you get into the upper atmosphere, but they're still within launch criteria. Still at 24 degrees, although again with the launch time at about 10:38 Eastern Time this morning, we hope that the thermometer will have warmed up to about the freezing mark by then, and also the sunshine will be beating down on the launch pad, on the launch site area, to help maybe sublimate, in other words, evaporate any of the ice that may be around, let's say, the launch structure itself in that region. So we expect conditions to be within limits, we think, for launch this morning.
It's half past the hour, and in the news headlines this morning, with launch time just 2 hours away now, NASA is keeping a close eye on the weather at the Kennedy Space Center. The thermometer particularly, freezing temperatures a major concern. It was in the low 20s overnight, and NASA wants to make certain ice doesn't form on the Challenger's exterior. Icicles hang from the safety rails on the Space Shuttle Challenger's launch pad, but NASA says the icy weather is not likely to impede today's liftoff, scheduled an hour and a half from now. That cold front's making work for NASA's officials a bit unpleasant as the Space Shuttle Challenger tries again about an hour and a half from now to leave the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center. Today's launch was pushed back 1 hour because bulky equipment plagued workers before they tried to refuel the shuttle. The teacher, Krista McAuliffe, joins the 6-member crew now on the Challenger's mission. She's to teach 2 lessons to be broadcast to schoolrooms on Earth, while the crew will launch a communications satellite, also a space station, provided they get off the ground today.
The Challenger crew is set to give it another try this morning. The shuttle is parked at the Kennedy Space Center with the first space teacher on board. Correspondent Tom Mintier is here to give us the very latest on the shuttle's ups and downs, and it's already been delayed again this morning. It was supposed to go off at 10:38, and then 9:38,
9:38,
and then
10:38, 11:08, and now who knows when. The countdown clock at the Kennedy Space Center is frozen at 1 hour and 10 minutes and holding. They are taking a look at ice on the pad. Here you see a live picture from the Kennedy Space Center. This is what it looks like, and it's causing them some great concern. NASA officials now meeting to decide if this might prevent a launch, but as it stands right now, they are still go, but when? That's the big question. As I said, the NASA officials are meeting about this problem. The ice evidently built up overnight, and not really sure how much of an effect it will have on the countdown, whether they will continue to try to count down or actually scrub the launch again today. Krista McAuliffe is hoping that the ice will melt beneath her. She boarded the shuttle a while ago. She is sitting, waiting, as she did yesterday, for 6 hours. Hopefully this time they will be able to go. The launch director, Gene Thomas, told the crew a short time ago, welcome to our northern launch facility. Pad 39B sits about 2 miles from the Space Center's usual pad, 39A. And the children in New Concord, New Hampshire, are hoping that Krista McAuliffe goes this time. They watched yesterday and it didn't happen, but they are optimistic about today.
Tired of waiting? Kind of, but I mean, I'll be real psyched when it goes up, though. I wish it'd go up. I want to see it.
They are not the only ones that want to see it. All of America is watching and waiting to see if the ice on the pad will ice the shuttle permanently to its structure. Once again, the live picture of the ice buildup. The countdown has been moved back several times today because of the weather. It is sub-freezing there now and causing some great concern about the ice. If they do not go today, because they have already fueled the external tanks a second time, they fueled yesterday and again today, and if they are not able to get off today, it will be a 48-hour turnaround, so the earliest they could go if they do not have a liftoff is now set for Thursday, the exact time still to be determined. So once again, the countdown clock is frozen at the Kennedy Space Center, 1 hour and 10 minutes, and the meeting is still going on by NASA officials trying to determine how much of a problem the ice is going to be. We, of course, keep you updated here on CNN of the progress, or lack of it, of Challenger.
Right now we're going to show you something very unusual. It comes from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and it has to do with the space shuttle, and CNN's Tom Mintier has the very latest on this very unusual occurrence. Tom?
Patrick, who would have ever thought there would be icicles hanging from the space shuttle on the launch pad in Florida? But it's something that's occurred this morning. We have something even stranger. Here is a shot we're going to show you of 8 members of an ice team. They are working on the launch pad now, clearing away the icicles so they can hopefully go ahead with their scheduled launch time of 11:38 Eastern Time. You can see the men down at the right base of the shuttle. They are moved into the area. They will stay there probably for the next 10 or 15 minutes, knocking off the icicles that have been on the launch pad. Once again, 11:38 Eastern Time. That is the new scheduled time for the launch. We will update you, of course, if that changes. Patrick and Molly?
Oh. Tom, thank you very much. I could almost do that. I've gotten some practice the last couple of days, scraping the old windshield.
You need a white suit, though. That's this hour of the Day Watch. Thanks, everybody. I'm Molly McCoy.
I'm Patrick Greenlaw. Thank you for watching. Day Watch continues right after this.
Good morning. The unseasonably cold weather in Dixie is affecting even the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Its 7-member crew now has been on board since early this morning, waiting for liftoff, delayed for more than an hour and a half by technical and then weather-related problems. However, NASA officials say they have determined that icicles on the launch pad do not present any real problem, and they'll attempt to get the shuttle off the ground a little more than half an hour from now. When it finally does lift off, Challenger's mission includes the deployment of a shuttle communications satellite, and the first teacher astronaut, Krista McAuliffe, will give lessons from space, perhaps refrigeration lessons.
What the country's space agency has learned in recent weeks, as well as the rest of us, is that this is a difficult general time of year to try and launch a space shuttle.
Patience has been a key element around the NASA operation all this week. We're going to join Tom Mintier now. Once again, just getting down to about 3 minutes, and they think they can do it.
They are counting. The ice is cleared away, and Challenger should be going away very soon. Let's go down to the Kennedy Space Center and take a look at Challenger sitting on the pad as they continue the countdown.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Now control. Roger, roll, Challenger. Good roll program confirmed. Challenger now heading downrange. Engines beginning throttling down now at 94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%. We'll throttle down to 65% shortly. Engines at 65%, 3 engines running normally, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles, downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
Flight controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction.